So I want to talk about the Neewer Speedlite. Now this is strictly a manual flash. So in the box there's some instructions, the light itself, and there's a little stand, little bracket, and then there's the bag to protect the light. So the first thing, of course, you're going to do is you're going to put batteries in, and just there's a diagram on the plate right here, and you can see where the batteries go. So this is a really simple Speedlite. This is not the same as one that is TTL, which TTL means through the lens. And the reason why I chose this one is it doesn't let you do high-speed sync, it doesn't let you do TTL, it doesn't let you do different modes. So the only thing you can do in this one is just manual. So you want to start with something really, really simple and just see how to use the light. So here on the back it has an M for manual, an S1 and an S2. The S1 and S2 stand for slaves. You will not be using slave 1 and 2. We are going to only use this in the manual mode. You're going to turn the power on, and when the red light comes on, then the Speedlite is ready to use. So the Neewer Speedlite has 8 levels of flash output. So we're going to start at the highest level of output, which is full power. So every time you hit the minus sign, you're cutting the power, the flash, the amount of light in half. So now we have half power of flash, we have a quarter power, an eighth of a power, 16th, a 32nd, 1/64th power, and 128th power, which puts out just a really small amount of flash. So this is your test. See, it was very little light, and we're going to go back up to here, and you can see by hitting the test that it puts out a whole lot more light. So this is why I wanted you to see this particular flash, because it is very easy to use, and all you're going to do is hit the plus and minus buttons. This is your mode button, so you see that it has the manual, and then it has the slave 1 and 2, which means it's going to be triggered by something else, which we're not, or another light or something, but we're going to keep the mode in manual mode, and then we're going to adjust the amount of light that we need by the plus and minus sign. So another thing that this does is the flash head comes towards you, goes straight up so you can bounce. It also turns around one way so you could shoot up against the wall, or it turns all the way around the back. Another feature that the Neewer TT560 Speedlite has is on the flash head itself. There are there's a panel, and this panel is for wide angle, or this panel right here, this what I put down right here, broadens the light to go out, so it's not as directional. So this panel makes it go out this way. And this is a little bounce card. So if you point the light to the ceiling, the idea is it's going to basically mock the sun. It's going to hit the ceiling, and then that light's going to bounce back and then flood your subject with a pretty light. And this card helps do that. It helps keep the light from coming backwards, and this is called a bounce card. We're going to use something a little bit different, but you can try this on your camera. So then these just slide back in here like this. Some additional equipment, which is the transmitter and the receiver, and then the Rouge flash bender. But for today, if you want to try this on your camera, then I just encourage you to do so. It is quite different than your pop-up flash that you have on the T6 or any of the pop-up flashes. So this just attaches to the camera hot shoe right here. Turn it to the left, and then you're going to tighten that down so that's on your camera securely. So again, this is all manual. So you're going to turn your flash on. You have your camera on. And then you can point this to the ceiling or however you want to. So just play around with it. And remember that all a camera does is it reads light. Just remember, a camera reads light. So the better light that you feed it, the better your pictures are going to be. Or if you want to do something more artistic, then this would be the thing to do. You can change the power. You can try pointing this at your subject. You can try bouncing it off the sidewall. So just, play around with it on the camera and just kind of get a feel for it, what light does. So also in your kit today, you should have received a light stand. And again, this was purchased on Amazon. If anybody else is watching this video and is interested in the equipment, this is very inexpensive. It's lightweight, and it's only going to support the weight of this Speedlite. So when you get your light stand, you're going to undo the bolt. Then you're going to open up the legs to form a triangle. This will push down, and it forms a triangle to give it some stability. And then the same thing, you're going to loosen these bolts right here, which will raise these in different stages so that you can make this as tall as what you need to, depending on what you're doing with it. On the top of your light stand, there's a screw head, and it matches this opening on the little bracket that came with your light. So what you're going to do then is you're going to attach this to your light stand. And when you receive the receiver and the transmitter, this is how they're going to work. So the receiver receives the signal from your camera. So you're going to put your light, slide it onto the receiver, and then again tighten the nut of the washer so that this is on good and tight, so it doesn't wobble off. So make sure that this is good and tight on here. Then the same thing, it has the same idea. There's a washer and a plate down here, and then you are going to slide this plate into the opening on the little stands. So I'm going to turn the light on. So the transmitter works the same way. You're going to make sure that that your tightening bolt is up, or your tightening washer is up. Pushing it forward. You're going to tighten the nut, the bolt. You're going to slide it onto the hot shoe, and then tighten it down to make sure it's on there good and tight. Then you want to make sure that these are on equal channels and groups, or they will not match. So let's do channel 1 and make sure that your receiver's on channel 1. The back of the transmitter, we're going to make sure is on A, and that we're going to make sure that the receiver is on A. Then we're going to turn both of those on and test it by pushing this button on top of the transmitter. And you can see that they are now talking to each other. So now what happens is when I go to take a picture and I want to create some kind of mood or something, I can put this light anywhere that I want to. And I can move this light around. So I can raise the light, I can point the light, I can do a lot of things now to the light. Now I have freedom to be more creative, to have softer light, to have harsher shadows, to backlight. So this just gives you a lot of freedom. And remember again that you can change the settings in the back. So now your camera is only going to fire the flash at a certain shutter speed. So it may be 1/200th of a second. It may be a little less, I'm not sure. But how you're going to tell is if you fire the flash and the back of your picture, when you look at your image, half of it is dark or a small part is dark, that means that your shutter speed is too high to keep up with the flash, that they're not keeping up with each other. So just try your shutter speed at 1/200th of a second, and if you're still getting like a shadow in the back of your image, drop it down to 1/160th of a second. So the next thing that you're going to get in your kit is a Rouge flash bender. So this is going to work in a lot of ways. We're going to attach it to the Speedlite. It has a Velcro on it, and it just stretch it around, make sure it's on there secure. So now this is going to act like a big flash card. So we can actually bend it down if we want to. So the light is going to come up, it's going to hit this, it's going to shape and come this way at our subject, which is going to be brighter. Or you can point it up to the ceiling to make a bigger flash card. You can bring it around and you can bend this head down and you can make a snoot and you can direct the light. Another thing that this will do, it makes a nice soft box, and you're going to make a soft box by adding the panel. So the panel just velcros on one side, attaches to the other, and then it snaps. There's 2 snaps. Then there's a little Velcro piece. And what you want to do is you want to tuck the front of this tab inside your Velcro, inside your strap. So that keeps less light from escaping. So now you have made a really beautiful soft box, and now your light is going to be softer, and it will have a different look on your subject. So all of this is then to help you manipulate the light and be more creative with your images. This will also let you shoot at different times of day that maybe you're locked into, or when you're doing those headshots and maybe you're not getting enough light, or maybe you have light that is a little more directional, or maybe you have those raccoon eyes. By adding just a tiny bit of light, let's just say a kiss of light, you can turn this way down, the power way down, and you can just add a tiny bit of light just to give something a little more flattering on the face, and just something really, really soft. So anyway, this is the equipment that we're going to start working with. And so the next thing that we'll do is we'll actually start using the equipment so you can see the benefit of what the equipment does and how that it, might help you. So even if you're a natural light shooter, you can take this softbox and turn it way down to like some of the smallest power and put that little bit of light on and get a nice catch light in someone's eyes. Or you can put it behind somebody and bring it this way and get a different kind of light. So I just want you to be able to experiment with light, and just really, this will really help you develop some more creative skills.